Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to Lesson 8. Remember, I am Miss Wagers, your host for today, and we are going to continue reading Porpoises in Peril. Make sure that you are in a comfy spot, that you're sitting up, and that you are ready to listen and learn. We got to get that education. So, here we go. Our learning intention. Today, we're learning to use images and other graphics in a story so that we can better understand what we're reading. So really, we're just thinking about how do the pictures come into play. So we know we're successful when we can identify visuals in a text and explain how they help us understand a text. Okay? Pretty easy. This should be a good lesson. And our foundational skills. So again, we are focusing on the suffixes er and est. So let's just look at these words from this practice reader, which all have the suffix er and est. So again, I will read the word first, and then I want you to repeat it after me. We have earlier, earliest, faster, I'm going to use a pointer here, greater, larger, loudest, quietest, smaller, strangest. So when you are coming across these words, I want you to really focus on recognizing the suffix er and est. When you see those, you should immediately know what sound those suffixes make. Okay, so it should make it a little easier to decode. Okay, because when I'm looking at the word earlier, well, I know it ends in er, so I know it's going to end in that sound. Okay, and then on your own, you can practice reading the rest of this practice reader to get really good at these words with er and est. Our vocab for today. So the first word is evidence, which is something which shows that something else exists or is true. You have to have evidence. And a lot of times you hear your teacher saying, use text evidence, okay, because we want you to show what you're saying is true by finding something in the text. And the second word that we are going to go over is dismantle, which means to take apart. Okay, so we can see in our picture here that this building is being dismantled. Okay, it's being torn down, it looks like. So let's continue reading. Suddenly, Kate saw movement to her right. A shadow emerged from the darkest recess of the mine. Then a figure moved toward her. It was Drake Darkly. Hoping the tunnel was the fastest exit, Kate spun back the way she came and somersaulted toward the tunnel. She heard grunts and running footsteps behind her, but her somersault was timed perfectly, and she landed at the airlock opening, head first. So let's look at the stop and think question. How does the illustration add to our understanding of the setting and character of this part of the story? So let's look at it. What does this picture make you think? So what I'm thinking, I see Drake, and I'm already like trying to point to my screen, guys, to show you and point out Drake, but he's looking pretty upset, right? And then it looks pretty rocky, and I see like the shadow. Okay, so it's not looking like the funnest place to be, and like we said, Drake is not looking too happy. So that's adding to my understanding when it's saying that she heard grunts and running footsteps, because Drake looks like he's upset, and he kind of has got his arms kind of apart like he's been running. Drake Darkly banged on the door, but it was already too late. The door had locked and the airlock chamber was filling with water as Kate snapped pictures of him standing in the mine. As soon as the chamber was full of water, the second door opened, releasing Kate back into the ocean. Moving her flippers as fast as she could, she swam up as fast as she dared, which felt very slow. And again, looking at this picture, we can see her getting into that airlock. Finally, she broke the surface, flipped off her mask, and yelled, "I got it!" to the rest of the team who were waiting on the boat. The first thing the team noticed as they sped back to the shore was Dr. Bloodman and several uniformed officers. Once they got off the boat, Kate retold her underwater ordeal and held up her pouch of opal chips and the underwater camera. After seeing the evidence, Dr. Bloodman told the officers to arrest Drake Darkly as soon as he reached the mainland. "If you don't need us, we're going to go crash for the night," Jada said. "You deserve much more than that," Dr. Bloodman told them. "We'll talk later." And again, we had that vocabulary word, evidence. So after seeing the evidence, okay, because let's see, Kate had collected those pictures and those opals, so she was proving that Drake Darkley was guilty. Out on the terrace the next morning, the team called Professor Q. I've already talked to Bloody, she said. Bloody? The team members mouthed silently to one another. And it's a good thing he called me, since my science squad decided to sleep was more important than updating me. But Professor Q, Kate had a terrifying experience and we were worried, and Cam began. That was a joke, Professor Q said. Surely you recognize a joke. Bloody will dismantle the mine. Dismantle right there. So what does that mean? To take apart. So that mine is going down. Bloody will dismantle the mine. Once the sediment settles on the seabed, the water will return to acceptable levels. The porpoise population is safe, and so is our environment. For now. Take a week off. This is another triumph for Gara. She hung up. So again, let's think about these pictures. How does the illustration support the text? So what do you see? It's pretty simple, right? Like we see the science squad sitting around this table. Looks like they have some food and they're drinking, and we can see that they have this little tablet where they must be talking to Professor Q. Okay, so they're all looking pretty happy right now. Okay, so we know that, they're probably pretty happy because they have solved the mystery and they're getting their update from Professor Q. A week off? Surf's up, let's go, said Reggie, but Kate was already out the door. So again, when we're thinking about analyzing visuals, that means that the illustrations that accompany or go along with the text can deepen a reader's understanding of the characters, events, and settings in a story. Kind of like what we already talked about in our learning intention. That's what we have to understand, is that the pictures can help make the story more interesting. It can help give us more of an understanding, okay? So let's look at this. Who or what is the shadow Kate sees as she prepares to leave the opal mine? Why is that significant or important? So again, let's think about that. Suddenly, Kate saw movement to her right. A shadow emerged from the darkest recess of the mine, and then a figure moved toward her. It was Drake Darkley. So already we can answer part of this question. Who or what is the shadow that she sees? Well, it just says it was Drake Darkley. Okay, and then why is this significant or important? Why? Okay, we can see in the picture, we saw Drake Darkley, and we talked about this picture before, but it's important because it's proving that he's guilty, right? She has him in the mine. Okay, and so this picture adds to our understanding because we get to see Drake Darkley in the mine. And how does this illustration add to the ending of the story? So let's look at this. So remember, it had said a week off, surf's up, let's go. And Kate was already out the door. So how is the team feeling now? Well, let's look at their faces. They all appear to be smiling, okay? It looks like they're going to the beach. So it seems like they're going to have a good time. And they're probably, again, pretty happy because they've solved the mystery. So it looks like they're kind of relaxed. They're ready to go enjoy the beach. And of course, as we said, they are happy. So that kind of gives us a better ending to the story because we can see, oh, look, they're feeling really accomplished. They're happy. And, they've reached their goals. And so lastly for today is your reading response. Should have done a drum roll for that. Okay, so I want you to think about, what does this illustration tell you about the science squad's reaction to Kate's underwater journey? Because remember, this is right when she had come up after seeing Drake Darkley in the mine. Okay, so how does this illustration help you understand the science squad's reaction? So how did they feel about Kate's underwater journey? Okay, so make sure that you are thinking about that question and getting a response to it. And you have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye, guys.